And welcome back to Subculture After Dark. Well, as a lot of you know, and a lot of you already have tickets for, there is an absolutely huge tour happening here in Australia with Neo Oblivisaris, the Ocean Collective, and also Rivers of Nile coming to Australia for this absolutely phenomenal prog night. So we thought we would actually get one of the members of Rivers of Nile on the phone right now to chat all about it. Welcome to the program, Adam.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Mate, we are so excited about this tour. Tell us a little bit about how you guys are feeling about heading back to Australia for this mammoth tour.
I'm excited. I'm not looking forward to the plane ride, but that comes with the territory. On a serious note, yeah, very excited. Love Australia. And it's been years since we've been there, and we're glad to have the opportunity to come back.
Now, this is a question that pops up on this show quite often. What do you do on that plane ride?
Oh, hate my life so much. I don't. Last time, it was just like I got up after the flight. Like I remember watching. I watched so many movies on one of the directions of the flight, probably on the way home. I think I think between both flights I watched like 20 movies or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just sat and wrote little reviews to myself of them. I was losing my mind essentially.
I always find that trip is a really good trip if you're really tired and you can just sleep for most of it.
I'm terrible at sleeping on planes. It's never comfortable enough, and I always forget the little neck pillow thing.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work for me.
Now, your last tour of Australia was in 2019, of course, before the pandemic, and that was a tour where I think you guys won over a lot of Australian fans. What was that tour like for you guys, and do you have fond memories of Australia?
Yeah, no, it was a very cool tour. I thought, it was pretty amazing. Our reception, we were the first band of 5 bands on that bill, and we were kind of expecting maybe the crowd to be halfway there and half warmed up for us, and we weren't expecting much, but God, you guys really showed out and were excited and made us feel super super welcomed, and it was definitely a really positive experience. And I remember I loved Australia in a way that I like to brag to my friends who haven't been there about how cool it is. So it's stoked to go back.
What kind of things do you like to do away from the stage when you're in Australia? Because there's so much stuff to do and see. What do you like to do away from the stage?
Well, it's all sort of a blur, but last time we were there, there's a lot of flying between cities, so there wasn't a lot of time for recreation. But what we did, I remember we did the whole koala sanctuary thing, and we geeked out about that and had a good time, and we ate as much as we could, and I remember the food being awesome. You could just we're all already very used to going to Europe and eating over there, and everybody just gets so sick of the food over there after a while. But the food in Australia is fantastic by comparison. So and then we just kind of, I think we did a lot of hitting the clubs and stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
We were just out partying and having a good time. It was and not sleeping very much at all.
Yeah. Now you're on the bill this time with Nihil and also the Ocean. How does it feel being on a bill with those two awesome bands? Because of course you guys were with Neo last time as well.
Yeah, it's great. Neo's awesome. They're cool dudes, and we've outside of touring, we've kind of hooked up with them, different members from time to time, just crossing paths. We remained friends. So which has been nice. So to come back under on one of their tours, and when we know we'll be greeted by friendly faces and stuff like so. We're really grateful for that. And the Ocean, like we've all been, everybody in the band has been huge fans of that band for a really long time. So yeah, when we saw that was that was the lineup, it was really a no-brainer for us.
Yeah. Now, you surprised us a little bit recently with a brand new single, The Suborbital Blues. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect from you guys in the future. Is the new album well and truly on the way? What's happening there?
I don't know. No, no, seriously, we have I'd say about half of it done. But we wanted to start putting music out as soon as possible, because we experienced some lineup changes and stuff like that, but we also wanted to just show people that, like, it's not going to really hinder us. We're going to keep it going.
Yeah.
And yeah, as far as the new album is concerned, like, it's still a work in progress, but there is progress. It's happening. We're putting it together, and I'm pushing to get this thing out as soon as we possibly can.
Sometimes with lineup changes, bands feel like there's a kind of revigoration there. Is that something that you guys are experiencing at the moment with the lineup change?
I'd say so. I think it's there's been a little bit of a little bit of not fear, but like a little anxiety about the whole thing on our part, because we lost our longtime frontman, which is as things go, like it's the biggest change probably for just about any band, because most fans will they associate the band itself with their frontman, and so I mean, for me, stepping into that role it's been challenging, and like I've gone back and forth about should I really be doing this? Should we get somebody else and stuff? But the rest of the guys in the band have been very like, no, this is the way to do it. We're doing it this way. So they've encouraged me to continue this way. But yeah, it's been like, the farther along we get, the more shows we've played with this configuration, the more excited we get about it. And so Australia is really just it's the next step for that. And I feel like we are hitting a bit of a renaissance.
Yeah. How did you get over those initial fears? Because it sounds like you were pretty hesitant at first about stepping into that role. How did you get over those fears?
I had to.
Yeah.
We were in the middle, like Jake left the band in the middle of a tour, and for whatever reason, and at first we were just kind of trying our best to get through the shows, doing what we would normally do, but just without him around. And it got to a point where I'm like, I feel like we're not giving the fans at the shows what they need or what they paid for. So I'm going to do my best to like step up and just try and, give them the whole, because we were playing a whole record start to finish. And I was like, I feel like we're not delivering what's on the flyer there. So I just started kind of doing it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, I didn't think I could play and sing the stuff at the same time. But it's amazing what you can do when there's a bunch of people looking at you, expecting you to do a good job.
Definitely.
And, it just kind of had to happen.
Yeah.
So and we started there, and we kind of reverse engineered the whole thing.
Oh, mate, I've heard great news about your live show at the moment and how good it is. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect from your set list here in Australia, because of course you haven't been here since the work came out. What can we expect from this set list this time around?
It's my goal to give the fans over there a healthy dose of stuff that we haven't played over there before, but also, still deliver the classics, with the time that we have allotted to us, and build the best set that we can that that honors our our whole catalog, because we don't get. It's not every day we get to come down there and play for you guys, so we want to make sure that we try and make it fans of all eras of the band happy.
You do have such an amazing back catalogue of music. Is it getting harder these days to make sure that everything is represented in that set list?
Absolutely, yeah. It's become next to impossible, especially in regards to some of the super earlier stuff, because it just doesn't fit. Not I don't know if that's necessarily the word, but like it's sometimes it feels like it just feels like it's a bit dated, as far as because we're always concerned with like what's the next thing that we want to do, what's new for us. Like, we don't always want to be retreading old things, but we force ourselves to keep a hold of a few relics here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets tougher as you go along, I guess, to really care about that stuff that's gotten really old, especially because it's like your fans don't see it the same way that you do, or like, so people who really like our first record or something, I listen to that record and I have probably a very different opinion. I can't, I just think about how, immature of a songwriter I was back then. And so it doesn't really gratify me in the same way as it might the audience. But, you go through phases, and sometimes, you'll get over that, and maybe at some point we'll like revisit a lot of the older stuff and decide that it's time to dig it back out. And it's also, the newer stuff for us has been the most popular and the most successful, so it's kind of what we stick to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, mate, we know that you are going to deliver an absolutely awesome set here, so we can't wait. But to finish off the interview, what would you like to say to all of your fans out there before you hit the Aussie shores?
Well, just that we're excited to see all of you once again, and let's hit these shows and have some fun. We're playing earlier. So you make sure you guys get your Fosters in you and stuff before we hit the stage.